Fade in.
I need a username. And I have a great one. Little Kid Lover. That way people will know exactly where my priorities are at.
By the way, he gave me permission to touch him.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
How dare you?
Put a chick in it, make her gay.
I love nothing more than to be dragged out at every fucking conceivable opportunity so you can current day us.
This is the first time that we see a woman, and the first time that we see a black woman in this area and this world.
But Mrs. Kennedy, Bambi's a baby deer.
Baby deer, put a chick in it, make her gay.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
No, God!
The power of one! And if you have a problem with that, come fight me. Physically. Bitch.
Has anyone taken
Power of two.
If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
The power of many.
It counts as a disability where a video game like Elden Ring is concerned if you have a kid. You have a 2-year-old, you're trying to play Elden Ring, you can't pause. That is a situational disability that you have.
You think that I'm retarded?
Sexism in gaming.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
No trial, no nothing.
The games industry is diverse naturally. Not because anyone's making them be diverse. Because the world is diverse, you stupid mother.
F***ing pronouns! F***ing gender ambiguity! You serious?
Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Shit is crap!
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come. You keep doing that, no one up here is gonna call you Donald Trump anymore. We're gonna call you Donald Duck.
Weird.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone?
What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Oh, you know it, lad. You know that, Hassan Piker. I'm coming to kill you in Los Angeles at your house. Or in the ring. No, in real life.
Yeah, dude, I don't know if it was just the way I edited that video or something, or what the deal is. I don't know why it's so quiet. I apologize. I'm doing what I can, but in the meantime, guys, holy crap, it's been a year. I just want to say thank you guys for all hanging out. Thank you for being here. I know that it's been kind of a weird year for a lot of us. I mean, ever since 2020. Shit's been strange, not gonna lie. Things have been very odd. A lot's happened in a very short amount of time. And so I just want to give you guys a big shout out because honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect when everything kind of kicked off earlier in February, March of this year. And yeah, you know, there's been some swings and misses. I've had some bad opinions, some bad takes. Definitely haven't always been spot on with all my opinions, I'm not gonna lie. But I figure, hey, we're all gonna be wrong at some point, right? But I just appreciate you guys all hanging out. It's been really awesome to get to know a lot of you. And so for me personally, it's like it's a journey that's worth taking. It's been a lot of fun. And yeah, you know, you're on time. You got to read a 250-page book today and tomorrow, then write a 6-page paper. Well, that's a good time right there. And better news, my music isn't completely crapping out on me. Metal Gear is the best political game series that does not hit your head like how people call you alt-right for criticism. Yeah, you know, we were talking about that on Discord earlier today. I have no problem with, what do we have here? I got no problem with politics in games, as long as the politics actually make sense. It's when you get into the entire, I need to see modern politics in my game. That's the real issue. You know, it's like, everyone's like, oh, Star Wars is political. It's like, no, it's not. It's not political like, you know, Democrats and Republicans and, you know, all of our modern issues that we have these days. So I was going to pull something up here. Let me see if I can do it real quick. I was going to try to grab my worst performing video this year, but to be honest, I'm having a hard time getting everything to load properly. I got way too many tabs on my computer. We should be able to filter things, like filter by views. Well, obviously my lives get less views. There's no question there. The other thing about this is it needs to be like from the time that my channel actually started growing, because anything before that is really kind of irrelevant. Let me see. That was 2021. Holy crap. That's insane. Wow. Yeah, I'll try to find this later. Unfortunately, it's not working the way I was hoping it would. That's a bummer. Like how capitalism can be seen as highly destructive in both Cyberpunk and Fallout if allowed to go unchecked. Any anti-war games like Metal Gear? I'm sure that plenty of them exist. I mean, isn't what's that one called? This Little War of Mine? I think that's the side-scrolling one, isn't it? That one's non-political or anti-war, I would say. Hey, Makini.
Congrats on 10K Meg. You deserve so much more.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. I didn't even know that you were subscribed to me. I see you in that Park Place's live streams all the time. Thank you, dude. Appreciate it. Also, I had it set up where I could actually pin your guys' comments, and now I don't see that freaking feature. Also, let me know if the background music's too loud. I don't know. I rewatched one of my old streams the other day. I have no idea if the background music is actually too loud or not, or if it's actually pleasing to listen to. So somebody tell me and I will either just yeet it or we'll leave it. All right, where is this widget at? Highlight, chat highlight. Where is this? Chat highlight, here we go. Add source. I want to be able to pin your guys' comments. In fact, right here, we're just going to put it up here. I just don't know if it's going to let me do it or not, guys. I am such a boomer with a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. Let me see, source. Yeah, this is why everybody uses StreamYard, because then you can also multi-stream with other people and you can have everyone's webcam and stuff on there. Streamlabs has features for that, don't get me wrong. It's just, it's not as super easy to use. Or corporatism. Yeah, you know, here's the thing, Richie, what I've noticed. Unfortunately, capitalism has become kind of a dirty word. And actually, I think Razorfist talked about it before. We need to start calling it the free market, the barter system, you know, fair trade. Reuse the words that are actually meaningful for the conversation, because capitalism is kind of like synonymous with cronyism and corporate greed and stuff. And it's just a terrible look. People of color are part of Gamergate. To be fair, that's not Sweet Baby Inc.'s fault. They are just kind of feeding into the larger mentality that if you look a certain way, if you act a certain way, if you have a certain religious belief or a certain perception of the world, that you ultimately line up with everybody else who resembles you. You know, it's why for so long we see men vote Republican overwhelmingly compared to women who vote overwhelmingly Democrat. You have certain minority groups will tend to vote more Democrat than Republican, but people who come from countries like Cuba that have dealt with communism are going to come and vote conservatively. I mean, unfortunately, voting blocks exist for a reason. It's based on this group mentality that you have to align with a certain group of people if you look a certain way, if you look like them, if you believe like them. It's unfortunate because everybody should be able to kind of like piece together their own belief system and kind of, you know, feel how they want to feel about certain topics. You don't have to believe a certain thing because you resemble somebody else. That is such hive mentality, and it's very detrimental. It's very dangerous, you know. Thinking about making a retrospective on Assassin's Creed called How Assassin's Creed Fell, Politics and Repetitive Nature. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, definitely Assassin's Creed would be a fun topic, given the fact that Assassin's Creed is unfortunately, I think it's probably the title. I know Far Cry is a big Ubisoft franchise, but I think Assassin's Creed is the one that they're really best known for. And I would say that it's the one that has had the furthest fall from grace for a lot of us. And it was before, the Black Samurai stuff too. I mean, again, honestly, I got bored with the Assassin's Creed franchise. I got sick and tired of it. It got to be where the story was no longer good enough to kind of overcome the repetitive nature of the game. When the games were better, I had no problem playing the same repetition. It just got to where, again, the story became very subpar. And once that happens, once the story suffers, especially on a game that's story-driven, with, of course, assassination and stealth mechanics, I was coming back for the story. I was coming back for Ezio, for Desmond. Black Flag had amazing functionality with, again, the shanties. Oh my god, I loved the freaking shanties you could unlock. You're sailing the seas, For the Swarm, hey Oblivion. You equally like both, Far Cry and Assassin's Creed? Yeah, I never got into Far Cry. Far Cry and Fallout are a couple of franchises that I just never really cared to get into. I don't know. I would always go into Game Crazy or GameStop or whatever, and I'd see them sitting on the shelf, and I'm like, just something about them just didn't reach out to me. Now I wish I had, You're a literal so-called person of color in their labels, and you'd be called alt-right even though you're not even alt-right. Center of right, yeah. Dude, center of right will get you every time. If you ever go center of right, you're basically like the mustachioed maniac from WW2, Anyways, let's jump to the full screen, or at least the semi-full screen. We're going to go through some articles. There's going to be a little bit of entertainment, gaming news, more entertainment. Then we'll cover some of the stuff that happened with Trump with this alleged third attempt on his life. Again, I'm so confused by all the information coming out. I don't know what to make of any of it. So let's jump right into some of this stuff. Now, what I'm also ticked off about is I can't see the ability to pin these tweets. Not tweets, sorry. Your comments here on YouTube. I wanted to start pinning the tweets, the comments, and it won't let me. I'm so mad about it. I don't know why I can't. I even have the little feature where I'm supposed to be able to do it, but I'm getting screwed by Streamlabs here apparently, so unfortunately it is what it is. Far Cry 3 through 5, not counting offshoots, is definitely good, except 5 shows cracks. I saw a lot of gameplay of 5. Isn't that the one that's set in the South with the fanatic cult preacher guy or whatever? Thoughts on CD Projekt Red's current situation? I think they're a bunch of freaking liars. That's just me personally. So let me kill the music. I think they are straight up lying. I think, again, if you just base it off of their own public statements from the company about their ESG initiatives, if you take into consideration that we are seeing a lot of these studios, like, for example, Bloober Team. Isn't Bloober that made Silent Hill 2? Aren't they based in Poland also? I could have sworn, let me see, hang on. Because I remember talking about this in a video. Yeah, Polish video game developer. And the thing about it is, when I looked at the company photo, they're all white people. Which, again, I have no problem with. It's like you're in Poland, which is like 99% Polish. But it made sense to me that a lot of these people, especially like these Europeans who might be like left-leaning, left mindset, with the left-leaning mindset, would be easily influenced by, again, the quote-unquote white guilt to go and hire consulting companies to be like, yeah, we're a company full of white people. Maybe we should hire this diversity inclusion consulting company so that we have authentic brown people. Which, again, for a historical standpoint, like, for example, Assassin's Creed Shadows. You want to hire Japanese consultants to consult on the history around 1600s, 1500s Japan and their cultures, their customs, their armor, the traditions of the society at the time, how their entire structure worked from top to bottom. That's fine. That makes sense. If you're talking about, I don't want to. It's such a weird thing to try to to define, because these people, it's like they believe that if you're a white person and you have a brown character, or anybody who's not white, and you write that character, it's like a man writing a woman. You know, it's like, oh, I can't write about a woman because I'm a man. Have you never been around women? Like, have you not experienced life around women? So it's like, what, because you're a white person, you can't write about a brown person or a Japanese person? Again, there's context where it matters, again, if you're trying to get like a historical setting right, if it's a historical piece. But beyond that, it's the same idea that you have to resemble the character you're playing for a voice actor. These are things that truly don't matter. You know, certain things that don't matter. And I 100% believe CD Projekt Red, given their public statements, just like Bloober Team, would absolutely go and hire these companies, talk to these consultants, be worried about their diversity, appearance, and everything else. So it doesn't surprise me at all that their stance has been, oh, no, we hire, based on merit. And it's like, well, you better hire based on merit, because otherwise that's not legal. Like, you cannot discriminate against somebody just because, they're white and male. Maybe you can in Poland, I don't know. It's kind of strange to do in Poland. I mean, a lot of the activists that I've run into on Twitter certainly seem to hate Japanese people. You think a few of them are aware of how untrustworthy American news is and just bought into all of it? That could be it too, Oblivion. Given the fact that you go, well, mainstream media in the US is completely full of crackpots and agenda pushers, maybe we should hire these consultants, You want people, regardless of color, creed, whatever, that admire the source material to make the game. Some of the best diversity in games is made by the least diverse dev teams. Well, again, here's the thing. I think that two things can be true. Can a diverse group of people make something good? Absolutely. Is diversity a strength? No. It's not. Being more diverse does not intrinsically make something better. That's just completely false, like on its face. It doesn't make any sense. At face value, why would quote-unquote diversity? Okay, we have a project, we need 30 people. We're going to get 10 people that are white, 5 male, 5 female. The other 20 are going to be made up of ethnic minorities, underprivileged people, non-binary, non-gendered people, people who came from underprivileged backgrounds and may not have access to as good of information or education. We're going to take all these other 20 people who are essentially charity cases or whatnot, people who might not normally get this job, we're going to throw them into the mix. The question is, do all 20 of those people out of the 30 total on the project have the same level of qualifications as the original 10? Who knows? If you're hiring first and foremost based on the identity of the person and then worrying about the qualifications later on, then diversity does not make anything better. If you're hiring people who are 100% qualified and they happen to be diverse, well, you're not hiring them for their diversity, you're hiring them because they're competent. Could the diversity help? Sure. It could also certainly hurt, as we've seen time and time again. Don't activists call Japanese, Chinese, and Koreans and Taiwanese white adjacent? Yeah, the white adjacent thing we've seen time and time again. White adjacent has been a thing that has existed for a long time. Actually, my brother, who's in the military now, when he was going to college 15 years ago, before he joined and got his officer, what do they call it? His commission. He was taught in political science and other classes that white people are basically, or Asians are basically considered like the second white meat, that they're white adjacent. And this was 15 years ago in a liberal college, okay? Yo, NS, holy crap, with the 10 gifted memberships. Dude, save some for everybody else, man. Holy crap. Wait, 'tis your birthday, have a gift. NS, is it actually your birthday and you didn't tell anybody? Dude, for real? You haven't mentioned it all day on Discord. Okay. If it's actually your birthday and you haven't said anything, I'm gonna be pissed off, man. Let me see here. What did... Somebody said something. Diversity means crap when you don't appreciate the concept, culture, story of the game you're making, and if an all-lady team loves the lore around, say, Iron Man, I bet they'd make a good Iron Man. There have been situations where... it's hard to think of. The last all-female anything that I just recently watched was the last season of Rings of Power, which I think was directed entirely by women, and they're all fired. So maybe that's not the best point to make. I don't know. Oh, man. The Japanese are ultra-conservative, so is every Asian country. I don't know if every Asian country is quote-unquote ultra-conservative. I'm sure that they all have elements of conservatism in their countries. Is he 32? No, NS is not in his 30s yet. NS is Gen Z. So are you, I remember you saying you were 27, I want to say. Are you 28 now? Look at them, they're all growing up on me. No, it's just funny in Discord because I'm always talking about how old I am. And these guys are like, man, you sound like you're ancient. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm almost 40. When you're in your late 30s and you've got Crohn's disease and a bad back and you're constantly on the go and you've got all this shit to do and everything else, and then you add into it the 3 kids and all their activities, it's like you start to feel pretty ancient pretty fast. They grift using a little truth to push a lot of lies. Diversity of thought is a strength. Gay race communism isn't. But yeah, but they don't want diversity of thought. That's been the biggest thing. The diversity of thought is 100% not what they're looking for. They're not looking for people to have a diverse mindset about things. You know, NS, I feel like you keep getting gypped because I swear to God, I don't think my alerts were working when you gifted those memberships, man. I feel bad. I'm sorry. Tell you what. For gifting those memberships, let me see if I have this ready to go. I'm going to play this special song just for NS for gifting all those memberships. Let's see if this one works.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. Yeah! And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. And this is what's happening. Dogs. People on television.
No credible reports of specific claims of pets being harmed, injured, or abused by individuals within the immigrant community.
Well, I've seen people on television.
Let me just say here, this is
the people on television say my dog was taken and used for food. So maybe he said that, and maybe that's a good thing to say for a city manager.
I'm not taking this from
but
television.
But the people on television saying their dog was eaten by the people that went there.
Again, Springfield city manager says there's no evidence of that.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. And this is what's happening. People on television. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cat.
I'm gonna end it right there. There's not much to it, and again, I don't want to look at Hassan's face anymore either. But yeah, the drop on that song makes the entire thing worth it, dude. I should make NS and OB mods on here. I don't know, Blithian, I think I mentioned him becoming a mod at one point. I don't know if he wants that responsibility. And as far as NS goes, that's up to him. If he wants to be a mod, I will definitely mod him as long as, you know, he behaves. No, Blithian, the greatest story about that remix, that was made by somebody who hates Trump, okay? So there was the original, They're Eating the Dogs, They're Eating the Cat song came out. And then that dude made it, put it out there, and it got adopted by Trump voters. And the dude raged. He was pissed. He was like, oh, these chuds, they're not supposed to like my song. And so he actually deleted the thing from YouTube. He pulled it down. But enough people were able to save it that it legit, it made this guy like freaking rage. And it got a lot of views. Like, he should have just left it up. Like, I mean, whether or not, like, if you make something and people who you don't like it. Dude, okay, the dude that freaking went after that chick Tori from Target with the toothbrush, right? When the toothbrush was marked down and he made this poor girl cry because he's like, you're going to sell me this toothbrush for $1 or whatever. That dude likes my posts from time to time, and I despise the man. It's like, you can't control who likes what you do or say, you know? Power corrupts people. See, I had a feeling you'd say that. But no, Oblivion, the song goes so hard, especially when you realize that it was made by somebody unintentionally, you know, who hated Trump, and it just made everybody go, oh, I like this song, this slaps, you know? But yeah, power corrupts, ultimate power corrupts ultimately, or whatever, something along those lines. Anyways, quick news, apparently the Warhammer show is not dead yet. Yeah, exactly, people of all walks of life can like things. Dude, Eric Kane from Forbes, who is constantly crapping on Rings of Power, crapping on Disney Star Wars, crapping on anything bad in like entertainment, he's a left-wing Democrat. Like, he's voting for Kamala and shit. And his entertainment views line up with like a lot of, you know, Gamergate right-wing type people. You know, when you're looking at art and entertainment and you're doing it objectively, it should be able to appeal to like the majority of people, regardless of your politics. Again, go back to a time when people's politics really weren't as important. You could all still enjoy the same movies, the same games, the same kind of, you know, content and stuff, you know? Same in line with Let's Go Brandon. Exactly. Same kind of thing, you know? Same kind of thing. But I guess if you're looking forward to this show, good news. Apparently it's not dead yet. And again, a lot of this is all rumor, but given the fact that we are getting to the end of the year, and I think they had till December to sign the contract to actually make this Amazon Warhammer 40K show. I don't know. We got like 2 months left, 2.5 months. So this article says, new rumor cropped up claiming that Henry Cavill's Warhammer 40K live action project at Amazon Studios is definitely not dead. YouTuber Mr. H Reviews, who's a big YouTuber, so who knows, responded to a recent rumor from fellow YouTuber Arch, claiming that both Games Workshop and Amazon were entirely content to let the project die. The end of September, Arch claimed it's been a complete radio silence on the matter of the TV show. And again, this was a rumor going around that the show is just not going to happen. Let me see. Let's go forward in time. YouTuber Mr. H Reviews responded to this rumor and shared some of his own inside knowledge on the matter and claimed that the live action project is definitely not dead. This is like when they go in and they poke Biden and make sure he's still awake. It's like, do you hear breathing? Is he still there, you know? Yeah, like the 90s. Dude, the 90s, we had it so good and we just didn't know. The 90s, you could be friends with Democrats. Like my parents, we were big into country music, and we the whole line dancing thing, you know, with cowboy boots and cowboy hats and belt buckles. And no, I'm not from Texas. It was just a thing back in the 90s. And so we had friends at the dance club that were, you know, hardcore Democrats, and my parents always voted Republican. And it was like they were all still friends. We had friends that were different religions and different beliefs that would come over and they play cards with them, like playing pinochle with the Mormons and stuff. And it was not a big deal. Things were far less polarizing back then, you know, that things were just less toxic, I guess is one way to put it. Is that the filth in Hollywood and corpo America should not end up corrupting our OG witch? Yeah. Alive. You know, my biggest concern, NS, is as somebody who just never really got into Warhammer, either the tabletop. I mean, I played a couple of the games. I just never really got into it. Somebody who never did the tabletop game. I don't want the lore to be ruined. I don't want the story to be ruined before I get there. I want it to be, okay, if I can watch this Amazon show and kind of get caught up on the basic idea of some of the lore instead of having to go back and read tons of books, I would dig it, especially given that it's Henry Cavill. But I don't know. So he says, speaking specifically to Arch's conclusion that the probabilities lean more towards the entire thing being dead than it ever being greenlit, he says, I can actually say it's the inverse of that. He later stated there's definitely been movement on it. Like a bowel movement? I don't know. Definitely movement, like 100%. My eyes and ears say that there's definitely been some movement. Can't tell you exactly what or how much, but it's the complete opposite of what Arch is rumoring anyway. It's the complete opposite of that. It's definitely not dead, guys. I can say with certainty there's been movement, and it's the contrary to what Arch is saying. Well, he repeated himself quite a bit, so who knows. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see, guys. Again, this is a topic that I was covering heavily about 3 months ago, and then everything just kind of went quiet. And I was, I was cautiously optimistic, because again, everyone loves Henry Cavill. The Witcher started off decent. The first season was decent. Could have gotten a lot better. Second season had some highlights and some really lowlights. and that third season was dog shit. So I don't know. I do not know what to expect from this show if it actually does happen. Like I said, I'm hoping for the best, but I am prepared for them to either cancel it or the show to be like more of The Witcher all over again. Didn't even know the politics of your friends in the 90s. A lot of us didn't, especially at school. At school, you just didn't talk about politics. I've taught my kids, because they play baseball. My kids are homeschooled. But, they play Little League baseball and softball. And so this year we did the regular spring session and fall. And I tell my kids, don't talk politics with the other kids, especially my oldest son. He's almost 12. I'm like, look, even if they bring up something, don't talk politics with them. It's not something that's polite to talk about with your friends. And he'll be like, oh, Dad, yeah, this other kid on my team, he was like, oh, do your parents like Trump or Biden? Oh, Trump's terrible. It's like, why are these kids talking to their friends about politics? I never did this as a kid. In fact, when I was a kid, I knew my parents voted Republican. Half the time, I didn't know who was on the ballot. I didn't know who the current candidate was. It's sad. Things were a lot simpler back then, So you like the video games. You loathe the tabletop miniature players.
You're a gentleman.
Got a buddy, that's all he talks about. Minis, this, painting models. Okay, so I think that some of that can be really cool. And Kay's Gaming, thank you for the subscription. Appreciate it, dude. I like the models. Like, I like when Carl Benjamin puts pictures on Twitter of his models. I think it's a fantastic hobby. I just know that I could never get into it. I don't have the space. I don't have the room. I don't have the time. I don't have any of those things. I don't have the money for it. There's no way that I could... I mean, some of those sets, dude, have you seen the prices on some of those Warhammer armies? Like, holy crap. I don't know if you guys know Thor Odinson on Twitter. He's like one of the biggest Warhammer collectors that's out there. And that dude has got tens of thousands of dollars in miniatures, some of which are still sitting in boxes that he's never painted. And I'm like, dude, that is insane. I mean, I get it. We all have hobbies that we spend money on and things just kind of sit there. Oh, speaking of which, let me pull up Discord real quick, guys. Hang on a second. I have no idea which... Oh, it's going to pop up over here. Okay, let me move it. Can I move it? Yeah, because I want to get the right... Let me get the right post. I was putting my wife's computer together before I got on the stream here. And I do want to show this off because it is really funny. Let me see, where is this at? My wife, it's not a top-of-the-line computer. I'm putting some of my old parts in it just to save some money. But I am building her essentially a computer from scratch. And it's a pink case, okay, guys? So, yeah, let me grab this. Hang on a second. Why do we freaking... I can't do anything. Hang on. Here we go. So, if you see this here, this is the case that we're putting all the parts in. And it is a freaking fantastic case. The cable management for this thing is going to be unreal. Like, I showed my wife my computer. I'm like, look down in the bottom there. It's like this viper's nest of all these coils and cables and shit. Only because I put a bigger power supply on my computer, and it has so many cables that there's no room for them. But I actually got to where, before the stream, I had... can I zoom in? There's no zooming on this. I don't know if you guys can see this or not. I got the graphics card in. We got the processor just waiting for the liquid cooler. It's going to have the 360 RGB liquid cooler on the side. I've got the 4 sticks of RAM down there. We're going to swap those out for LED at some point. But I got her the one that has the LCD faceplate on the AIO cooler on the pump. And then, of course, the power supply is in. So now I'm just waiting on a few parts to get here. I don't know. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I'm basically living through my wife's computer because even though it's cheaper than mine, I like the look of it better. I mean, not the pink side of it. I would never own a pink computer, but the case is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. I dig that case. I am a little jealous. I'm not going to lie. Let me see. Get rid of that. Discord servers. Okay, so let me tell you something. Oh, hang on. Let me catch up. Let me see. Don't think making me moderate would be a good idea. YouTube has been censoring me hard. Oh, that sucks. One vehicle costs 2K. Hey, Desert. Good God, that's expensive. Yeah, so the lighting, it's not custom, but there's 2 RGB fans installed in the top for exhaust, and then there's 3 on the side. It's kind of like a Barbie box, yeah. That is the Thermaltake 300. It's called the Tower. And I guess there's a bigger version of it coming out. This is a micro case, even though For being a micro, it takes up a lot of room. So I put a micro ATX motherboard in the back. But yeah, it comes in every freaking color, man. It is fantastic. It looks like a drop pod from like Helldivers. Now with stuff in it, it doesn't look... Dude, it's going to look fantastic once I get that white 360 AIO RGB radiator and fans and all that in there. So the Discord servers, man, let me pull this back up a second. 90% of them, so I've got my kids' server that we just use at home for like a couple of their friends and us when we're playing together. One's Meta PCs, one's Instant Gaming's, one is a friend, Dread Roberts, he's got a private server, or might be his public server, I don't know. YouTuber, DEI Detected, I've got Richie's server on here. Supervive is a game I was invited to on the alpha, and I haven't even played it. So I'm like part of the initial wave of people that should have been able to play it, and I never did. Arcane Discord mod server, which we use for the Discord. The Symposium, I want to say is, I can't remember whose server that is, somebody from the channel here. John Del Rosa's server, which I never use, I'm never in there. The CaptureBot server, my server, Zav's server, Streamlabs, which I don't need to be part of anymore. A friend from Twitch, another friend from Twitch, and then my old server, which I don't use anymore. It just sits there with a couple of people in it. So, yeah. It looks messy, but there's actually not that many there. Can it fit in a large... You mean a 3-fan? Yeah. So the max size... Here is the coolest thing. There is a... where the power supply is, there's a metal grate above it that you can hook an exhaust fan to. Or sorry, an intake fan if you want to. Next to it's a plate cover that pops off, and you could put a 3-fan GPU next to it. I've only got a 2-fan, so that little plate cover just stays right there. It's part of the bottom assembly. But you can pop that off to fit a 3-fan GPU in there. It's freaking amazing. Micro is big. That's all the motivation you needed. I'm not kidding. I was expecting, when I bought the Micro ATX motherboard, and I was making sure all the parts are compatible, I was expecting like, something reasonably small, because they even make like a mini version of that case. There's a mini that I was looking at, but the micro version is like, that thing's fat. Thing's freaking huge. You're in 6? Well, some of them I just haven't left because like I don't want to be that person who just one day leaves the server. I don't know. Yeah, see, it's not going to look bad with stuff in it at all. Let me see. Those fantastic powder lollipop things, it looks pretty sweet so far. Oblivion, it's going to look really cool when it's all done, because I'm eventually going to swap out her power supply, which is my old 500 watt from my original build, for a white one with custom cables that, the braided cables that are a little bit smoother, take up less space. Like my power supply over here gives me fits. I've got my little Witcher figures and Master Chief standing in front of my case so I don't have to look at the cables. And luckily they're in the darker part of the case, because my PC case is a god-awful mess. Everything up top looks fine. The RGB looks good. The cable management's okay. The bottom half is like I said, it's a nest of vipers down there. It looks horrible. Oh, might make a good console replacement to place in the TV room. That'd actually be pretty sick. Not gonna lie, that'd be pretty cool. There were rumors that the NVIDIA 50 series wasn't going to have as much of a processing power upgrade as the 40s. I don't know. All I know is the 40s are going to get cheaper, hopefully, when the 50s come out, because I want to put like a 4070 in mine. I don't want to upgrade like massively, but my 3600X, oh sorry, not 5600 XT is it's performed well. There's just so many limitations. Like a lot of games I turn the graphics, the shadows, all these things down to like medium to minimum, just to make sure I'm not going to like fry my graphics card. It's kind of the standard these days. Mini ATX is unintuitively smaller than micro. Dude, it's the funniest thing. I could have sworn, thinking about it, like, wouldn't it make more sense if micro was the smallest, and then you go mini, and then you go ATX? Like, why the hell is micro bigger than mini? It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you very much, sir.
Just absolutely bonkers.
You're a gentleman and a scholar.
Paul Mesky? Thank you for subscribing, dude. Actually, maybe my video's actually getting views for once. Guys, I got 685. Okay. I don't know. The algorithm no like me lately. Been getting a few kicks in the nuts. Living up to my name. First snow of the year? Oh, are you in the Midwest? Kind of jealous, not gonna lie. Living up to my name. Minimal. My case is still regular size. In fact, if I get the bigger version of the thermal take, it's going to be like a jumbo case. That thing's going to be so fat. Oh, but dude, the coolest thing I just realized when I was putting it together, the motherboard actually faces with the ports on the back upward. So when you connect all of your USB cables and everything else, you're going to connect them through a hole in the back of the case on the top down into the motherboard, and you don't have anything like coming out the back or the sides. It's just like the cable management in that thing is ridiculously awesome. It's so cool. Ooh, you got a 4090. Yeah. How poorly optimized they are. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see there's certain advantages to having like a better graphics card, and certainly I think processor might matter to a certain extent more, especially for what I do. I think processor is more important, but I'm maxed out on my processor. I've got an AM4 board, and so I have the 5900X, the Ryzen 9 currently in my board. If I wanted to do anything like anything beyond that, I have to get an AM5 board, which means a whole new build, which is going to be fun. So yeah, actually in the future, my plan is to either somehow swap out my motherboard and my PC case, or just basically leave it the way it is, let my kids have it, we'll have a second computer for them, and then, you know, maybe replace my wife's processor and PSU at some point, and then start from scratch for myself. And that's going to be, oh my god, expensive. Like, I don't even want to think about that. I got to pay off March's vacation before I consider doing that in a couple of years. That's going to be so ridiculous. If it's a 4070 Ti, I looked at the 4070 Super versus like the regular 4070. There definitely seems to be performance differences. I don't know that I need the Super, I don't know. If you can get something good for AV1 encoding, that's probably going to have more utility. No, actually, some of the, my wife's 4060 is an 8 GB. But again, she doesn't do any gaming. So for her, that's fine. Maybe the 4070s start at 12 gigs. I haven't looked that far ahead. To be fair, I don't know. Guys, I'm talking more computer gibberish than I've ever done in my life. My wife, I'm kind of explaining what I'm doing on the computer case to her, and she has such a hard time remembering it. And she was finally starting to get a few things. And the other night, I got the biggest compliment from her. She was like, it's really impressive how far you've come in a few years. When I first built my computer 5 years ago, I had massive help from somebody that was basically doing it on stream, and he was just kind of talking me through it. It took me 4 hours to put this damn thing together the first time. To be fair, the case sucks, and the motherboard wouldn't even line up with the case. But she's like, yeah, it's really impressive that in this amount of time you've actually learned all this jargon and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's a nice thing to say. Because half the time I'm like, I know I'm boring her when I talk about computer parts. I know it's not for everybody, Male gamer topics like processors and GPUs. Oh, dude. No, honestly, that's the thing. People who believe that everybody's the same on, as far as like genders go and everything else when it comes to topics or... Why is this not... Let me see here. Hang on a second. I'm trying to figure out how to pin your guys' responses, and I'm so pissed off that it's not working. I couldn't test it when the stream wasn't going, and now it's not working properly. I'm so mad. Can we skip the PC nerd talk? Ah, see? There we go. Not everyone's digging it. Just get a 3090? Okay, well, that's fair. Let me see. Took me forever to build mine on my own, and now I have found out the Intel cards have 50%. Yeah, that's why I stuck with AMD. My friend who helped me pick out the parts for mine, he told me AMD, and then yeah, I went with AMD ever since. So, no worrying that sooner. We're gonna move on in a second. Just find a streaming making a build, and you would want to emulate that. Yeah, no, there's so much you can learn in such a short amount of time if you just put your mind to it. So, you guys want to talk about nerd stuff here before we dive into like the icky news? This is cool. This is legitimately cool. I am not a big like Elon Musk guy, although guys, I gotta admit, I need your opinion on this too. The wife, we were trying to figure out what we're gonna do for Halloween because our kids have all decided they're gonna do their own thing. We try to coordinate with our kids. Like I'll dress up with like matching my daughter, my wife will match our son or something. And so this year, my daughter's matching her best friend. Her twin brother's matching her best friend's brother. So they're doing like a superhero thing. My daughter's doing like this thing from the Descendants movies or whatever. And my oldest son decided he's gonna be Bob Ross. I don't know where that came from, but it's freaking hilarious. He's already got the wig and stuff. It's great. But I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So the wife told me, why don't you just dress up like Elon Musk? So I'm going to do the whole Occupy Mars shirt, the black MAGA hat, the whole thing. But I haven't decided yet if I'm going to go the full distance and actually shave off the beard to pull off the Elon Musk look. I don't know. But it's funny because I'm not even that like an Elon Musk fan. But I'm like, okay, that's a pretty easy, pretty great costume. Till they become erased by PlayStation. And at first I thought it was just a video. I made a joke about it, Woozy. I made a joke about it on Twitter. I'm like, they just filmed this in reverse. No, I'm the outfit that he wore on stage when Trump had him at his rally is what I'm going to dress up as. It's super easy costume. Shave? Okay. That's one vote for shave. So here, NS, I'm going to play the video. This is actually ridiculously impressive. So I'm going to turn it down initially because I know that this is a rocket and it can be a little loud. Hopefully I don't blow your ears out.
We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now.
Yeah, what do you think about that, dude? Legit, they caught the freaking rocket. The thing actually landed, which is, again, again, not everyone's into like space, and I'm not the biggest like space nerd when it comes to like, you know, watching all the rockets and all the satellites and everything else launch and stuff. But this here, I'm like, holy shit. So then I saw a tweet, and I wish I would have been able to pull it up. Somebody pointed out, Ubisoft has like 18,000 employees and can't launch a game. SpaceX has 13,000 employees and just landed a freaking rocket. That's sick, right? Yeah. Pretty freaking, yeah. I can't even imagine, Polar Bear, about the amount of money they're going to save. Because if you think about it, I was telling my kids about this because I was explaining this to them. Like, when they launch that rocket, you know, the space shuttle, and, you know, drops the rockets off at different points in space, and the shuttle keeps going, none of those things are coming back to Earth. Like, none of those things are coming back. They're not going to reuse any of them. You know, the space shuttle comes back, and they shoot the pod off, and they have to get through the Earth's atmosphere, and they again have that, you know, that shield on it. It's like, this is such a crazy, crazy thing to actually see them pull off. It's unreal. Especially given the size, the scope, the scale. I mean, just the size of this thing to pull that off is unbelievable. You're going as Chester Copperpot? Nice. A lot of feedback systems at work. You can see that with these side thrust. Oh, well, of course, the SpaceX employees are smarter also. Somebody pointed out in this video, the difference between SpaceX and their employees and Ubisoft is that you don't see as many like women and people who look like they'd have their pronouns and stuff in the bio. You'd wager 10 SpaceX employees are better than 1,000 Ubisoft diversity. I mean, yeah. So that's the thing. That truly is a big part of the situation, is hiring 100% solely based off merit and qualifications and not really giving a crap about, like, again, the DEI initiatives. And you'll see Elon and Mark Cuban arguing all the time on freaking Twitter. And Mark has completely gone on board with all the DEI crap. It is disgusting to listen to him talk and you know, see what he says. But yeah, I mean, clearly one works and one doesn't. There's no question there. All right, let me see. Now that brings us, speaking of diversity, Lara Croft, everybody. How many of you guys actually care about Lara Croft? Am I the only person who didn't play the Tomb Raider games growing up? Like, honestly, I like the character. I watched the movies. Angelina Jolie, in my opinion, was a very great person to cast in the role. But I don't know. It's funny that there's so much, and again, rightfully so, there's a lot of controversy over this given the treatment that Lara Croft has gotten. But I just find it funny because, like, for me, it would be a bigger deal if they tried to make Link from Legend of Zelda gay or non-binary. If they tried to make Mario, you know, the classic Nintendo characters from, like, you know, again, back in the day, PlayStation games, I didn't care so much about. When they made the Halo show and completely crapped all over Master Chief, that bothered me. So for me, I didn't take it as personally with Lara Croft. But, you know, they're trying to reboot and remaster some of these games that didn't do so well. And so there's a lot of news going on around Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider games. And we've had a lot of, again, they talk about remasters coming out. And then there's the Netflix show. The Netflix show, which I have so many questions. I know a lot of other people do too. Now, the crazy thing about this show, it's been pointed out by a lot of people that they tried to go all in on making her more masculine, on going more androgynous or defeminizing her, if you will. She's got a massive waist. They did the boob sweat thing under her chest to make her rack look smaller. She's got practically like man arms and shoulders and stuff going on. And then her face just does not look right, okay? So there's a lot of this crap going on. Then you find out that the person that's running the show, the director of the show, formerly known as Jill Soloway, is now Joey Soloway, and everything starts to make more sense, right? It all begins to make a lot more sense. So you get into this, and then you see that apparently they've made several of the other characters gay. There's apparently like a lesbian X relationship that she has with a character who's also like a lesbian or something. And they've been pushing to make Lara Croft gay or lesbian for a long time. So it doesn't shock me that this is the direction everything is going, right? So, yeah, you see Netflix had this, the showrunner said that that Lara Croft is going to, you know, try to appeal to like girls both big and small, that the show is not a modern retconning of Lara Croft. But again, we've seen crap like this. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. Check this out. This is a post from 2 days ago that has kind of gone viral. It's a GIF. This person says, I want to do some lesbianism with her. Okay? And I can't blow up the GIF any bigger, but it's just her in the bath with her man back and muscles. I'm sorry. You cannot convince me that they are not trying to make her like more masculine. This shit here is unbelievable. And then, of course, you have all the women fawning over it. So, of course, this guy here, Black Sage, says sexualization of female characters is okay as long as it's only for lesbians. And that's 100% true. That is 100% what we've seen time and time again with characters like Lara Croft, who were originally sexualized, who were originally, again, designed for the, quote, male gaze. They were there for young boys and men to ogle. And then you have this retconning, this revisionism that I don't even know who is watching this show. Then you see shit like this. This is absolutely hilarious, guys. I don't know if you guys saw this one yet or not. But, yeah. Grum's saying there's not one original thought in the Tomb Raider from Netflix show. You got Dr. Disrespect over here, again, who's been very spicy topic, controversial figure recently. And then you got this from the show, okay? Tell me they didn't just flat out rip off Dr. Disrespect's entire look for Lara Croft. Now, again, I don't know why you would. I don't know why anybody would look at this and go, oh, that's a cool idea. Let's do that for Lara Croft. And remember, this was started, I'm sure that the animation for this began long before his controversy began. I mean, sometimes these shows take years for them to animate and storyboard and all that other stuff. Bad luck, I guess. I don't know. I don't understand. God, she's so... I don't know. Something is really off. Something is very, very off. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Then this meme got really, really viral. Netflix Lara Croft versus the voice actress. And again, this is a digitally altered image. But when you go and find the original image, there's not really that big of a difference. So if we're being fair, if we're grading Haley Atwell, who's the actress who does the voice of Lara Croft Tomb Raider in the Netflix series, she's very blessed. Obviously, this is a little digitally enhanced here. But again... it is really funny that we see this push among voice actors in the industry when it comes to games. What Ghost of Yotei, for example. The woman, they, them person, doing the voice of the character from Ghost of Yotei, every role she's in has been intentionally cast as a non-binary, lesbian, gay, transgender, whatever, again, for the game they want it to fit. They're an LGBT character, and they always bring in the LGBT actress to do the role. So it's really funny to me that for this, they take a woman who is exceptionally well-figured, and they're going to have her voice a woman who looks like a man and is flat-chested. It's just very ironic. It's very strange. But even IGN, here's the funniest part. Even IGN gave this show a 5, which to me means it's either like a 10 or a 2. So I don't know. This is just pretty mind-blowing. I don't understand. Again, the live-action remakes Disney's pulling out of their ass is one thing. Animated shows of video game characters that aren't even faithful to the character that they're basing it off of. To me, that's no different than the freaking Halo show that they made and canceled after 2 seasons because it was dog shit. So, I don't know. I just saw that. I'm like, I have to share this because this is so brutal to look at. Now, let's move. I don't know. We could talk about Captain America, or do you guys want to talk about Trump's assassination attempt, which is super suspicious? Let's talk about Trump, because there is so much weirdness with this entire situation. I don't know if you guys have heard about this. Allegedly, we had another attempt on Trump's life. And again, this is being disputed. So again, I'm saying this allegedly because I have no idea what the true story is. So from the New York Post here, we have an article that says, armed man Vem Miller. Now, the reason this is important is Vem Miller is I guess he's a podcaster. He has like a Rumble channel or a news organization that he's part of or something. Was arrested outside of Trump's Coachella rally as local sheriff insists it was the third assassination attempt despite letting Perp walk on a meager $5,000 bail. I've got a lot of questions on this one. If you think, or if you want to claim that somebody is trying to take the life of a former president and current presidential candidate, why would you let them walk on a $5,000 bail? Now again, sheriff, I don't think sets the bail. Wouldn't that be up to a judge? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think a sheriff can set a bail for a person, but given the fact that the judge didn't feel anything beyond $5,000 was necessary, again, more questions than answers there. So this one says, local cops arrested an armed man outside a Donald Trump rally in California on Saturday, and the local sheriff has doubled down on claims that it was another assassination attempt, even though he let the suspect walk after posting a meager bail for gun charges. Says, I truly do believe we prevented another attempt, Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco told reporters Sunday, a day after suspect Vem Miller was arrested at a checkpoint outside Trump's rally in Coachella. Miller, 49, was caught at a police checkpoint allegedly trying to enter the rally with a phony press pass. When cops noticed his car was unregistered, they searched the vehicle and discovered a cache of fake passports and driver's licenses, along with a shotgun, a loaded handgun, and a high-capacity magazine, officials said. So, the 2A enthusiast in me wants to say, I don't care what weapons he had in his car. I do not care. But on the flip side, you have a man in Donald Trump who has been the target of these attacks many times, and allegedly there's like even Iran's trying to take his ass out. So now again, I look at it and go, there are a lot of questions I have regarding whether or not this guy was up to no good. It says he was soon booked on weapons charges and sprung after posting $5,000 bail, but the sheriff turned around and told the Riverside Press Enterprise that his department had all but saved Trump's life. Federal agencies, however, appear to disagree. Secret Service believes it's unlikely Miller was attempting to take out the president, and the FBI is not investigating it as such. Noting Miller is a member of an anti-government far-right group and probably had the weapons for personal defense alone, which I think is, again, the reasonable take on it. Why he had them all in his trunk, in his car, in a state like California. Again, somebody, I think it was Lotus Eaters, somebody on there was like, well, why would you have your guns in another state if you were going to a Trump rally? It's okay. I get that the British mind maybe can't comprehend this, but in the US, a lot of people, regardless of what state you're in, regardless of how states have different laws, when I traveled to Arizona earlier this year and I flew without my handgun, I freaked out. Like for me, I was like, I hated being in Arizona without being armed. And we were pretty safe the entire time we were there. It's a habit. Same goes for when we were in Oklahoma over a year ago. Of course, in Oklahoma, everyone else had guns, so I guess I was pretty safe. You know, you just get used to having your protection with you everywhere you go. So I don't think most people would realize, if they're not from the US, that it's just a way of life over here. So I guess I can defend the guy having his weapons even at a Trump rally, given that that's just kind of his nature. But still, everything seems really suspicious. Secret Service later said Trump wasn't at risk during the rally. U.S. Secret Service assesses that the incident did not impact protective operations and former President Trump was not in any danger, the agency and the FBI said in a joint statement. While no federal arrest has been made at this time. Federal asset, yeah, there you go. The investigation is ongoing. Miller reportedly asked for a lawyer and briefly told reporters that the claims he was an assassin were complete BS. But the sheriff stood by his initial assessment while speaking to the press Sunday, calling Miller a lunatic and suggesting the country might also be suggesting the lawman was being dramatic. Suggesting the country. I don't know what they're trying to say there. There's some typos. What was his frame of mind? All we can do is speculate, Bianco said. If you're asking me right now, I probably did have deputies that prevented the third attempt on Trump's life. Yeah, this guy's organization is called AmericaHappens.com. I have no idea what his deal is. I have no idea about any of it. Obviously, he's like this sovereign citizen type guy. But then it got really weird because I saw this post on Twitter. And if you guys don't know who Mindy Robinson is, I guess she was an actress back in like some bad horror films or something. I don't know. I think she's dating that old UFC fighter. What's his face? Why can't I think of his name right now? I'll think of it in a minute. It's not Couture. I think it is. I think she's dating Randy Couture. And so apparently she's business partners with the dude that was there. Said, I talked to Vem Miller last night, the man falsely accused of being Trump's third attempt, and my friend and business partner for America Happens. Vem had valid passes to get in. That part's a total lie. They were given to him by the head of the Nevada GOP, who's a total douchebag, but clearly someone capable of procuring them. So maybe you got a setup there by the head of the Nevada GOP. I don't know. Vem's only crime was not understanding that the guns he legally purchased and carried where we live in Nevada are all illegal in California. That is a stretch, especially if he's like super political. Even I would know I can't take most of mine to California. And I hate that, but I would just assume that you're not safe to do that. Let me see. Thinking he was doing the right thing, he declared the weapons. Yeah, that sucks, but what else can you do? That led to them wanting to check the serial numbers to make sure they ran back to him. And of course, everything is illegal in California. Well, yeah, he shouldn't have taken them there. I mean, just stay out of California, I guess. I don't know. Now, where all the other shit about this mythical threat he made to kill Trump came from, he needs to be answered by the sheriff, who apparently has lofty goals of becoming governor one day. I don't know where she has that information from. I originally thought Vem had been targeted because of all of our anti-government corruption exposés and documentaries, but apparently I was giving the feds way too much credit. Do any of you guys know anything about this Vem Miller guy? Like, does the name sound familiar at all? This is not somebody who's on my radar at all. But you can see he's got a Rumble page with like 10.2 thousand followers. Had this video, Vem Miller's statement about the third attempt on Trump. But then these people down here in their replies are like, he was not falsely accused. Vem Miller's not his birth name. This is a man that changed his name 3 times. Man who had multiple passport aliases. Man who was told one of my followers he was Canadian. Man who had pronouns in his bio. And you can see, yeah, on LinkedIn, I guess, he has the he, him pronouns. So that's kind of strange for like a anti-government type. I don't know. He voted for Barack Obama twice. That's interesting. I don't think that's anything necessarily to prove, but okay. His background alone is cause for concern. The sheriff's past is no match for Vem Miller. I don't know, guys. A lot of weird stuff going on. All I know is the tank here, he said, thank God I live in a 2A state where I can have a gun loaded with a 30-round magazine in my car and no damn commie cop is going to arrest me for it after I tell him to pound sand. I can agree with that, although even in my state, I'm allowed to own what I own, but I couldn't buy a new one, so things are getting pretty crazy out there. Things are getting kind of shitty, unfortunately. But I just thought that was worth touching on because there's a lot of weirdness going on. A lot of like false flags, red flags, these weird... I feel like that guy kind of glows just looking at him. I don't know. But that brings us to probably the final thing I want to touch on tonight, which is Asmongold getting attacked online, which I think he's probably used to by now. But I'm curious what you guys all feel about this, because this is a pretty spicy take he had earlier. This video from Drama Alert already has 1.2 million views. If you guys haven't seen this yet, this is not me endorsing one side of the Gaza conflict or another. I'm just marveling that he actually said these words. So I'm going to play it for you right now.
If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now.
Now that I think triggered a lot of people, but we're going to continue.
So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible.
So yeah, like I said before, personally, my take on this entire thing, just before we play the rest of the video so we're all clear, I don't like that we're supporting Israel with our tax dollars. I don't like that we actually inadvertently support Palestine either. I'd like for us to get out of the Middle East and stop giving them all of our money. I don't know if I would go as far as he is going in this statement, but we're just going to let the rest of it play.
Terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way. They'd be doing the same thing. And how much did they kill? As many as they can.
Now, right there, I think he makes a very fair point, because I said on Twitter, I disagree with thinking that it's okay. Again, I hate the defense of, oh, they're hiding behind, Hamas is hiding behind children in hospitals. I'm not going to point my weapon at somebody hiding behind a child and pull the trigger. That's how I take it. But again, I get war is messy and complicated, so I'm, without getting into all that, fine. I do agree with him here, though, where the reality is, if the terrorist organizations in the world, and I'm not saying all the Palestinians, but if the terrorist organizations, the governments that ran these countries, had access to the ability to wipe the rest of us off the face of the earth, they'd probably push the button. So I don't think he's that far off with his take.
They're not able to kill as many people as Israel because they don't have as many bombs and as many weapons. But if they did, they'd be doing the same thing. That's it. Just takes enough. That's right. These people are not your allies. They are not the same as us. They come from an inferior culture that is horrible.
That right there, I think, is honestly the part that got him in the most trouble. Even though I agree with them that not all cultures are created equal. And so, again, I don't want to live around a bunch of Palestinians either. I think I was talking about on Twitter, they've done studies. I think the average IQ of a Palestinian in Palestine is somewhere between like 70 and 90. It's not good. There's reports about, like, again, Pakistani people in the UK and stuff, and how, like, 30% of them are inbred because they keep marrying their cousins and their siblings. There's a lot of things that where you can say not all cultures are created equal, but I think, honestly, his platform is too big, which is why he probably had to come out and apologize later on.
Kills people for their identity, and it is directly antithetical to everything Western values stand for, and it is an inferior culture in all ways. It is that simple. No, I don't feel bad for them. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't care. I don't.
And again, I can understand the approach he's taking. You see the constant war and you hear about terrorists and you see all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to feel sorry for somebody who voted for Hamas. Okay, fine. You boil it down to, unfortunately, Hamas was voted for like 25 years ago, and they aren't leaving, and so people who are born today may not have voted from the time. You can split hairs with the entire thing. But no, I understand his point about how he doesn't feel sorry for a group of people who wants to wipe everybody else off the face of the earth. I get what he's saying. Unfortunately for him, like I said, his platform is so big that ultimately we kind of all knew that this was going to blow back on him. Whether it's deserved or not is, again, up for your interpretation. But then we see a few hours later, Asmongold apologizes for his take on the Palestine-Israel conflict after receiving backlash, and you can see his actual tweet here. Looking back on it, I was way too much of an asshole about the Palestine thing. My bad. Of course, no one deserves to have their life destroyed, even if they do things or have views I find regressive. You guys deserve more than me saying stupid crap like that. I'll do better. Again, I hate seeing this kind of stuff. It's one thing, like I said, over the last year, let's just do the last year, since March of this year, when I started making videos that were actually getting views, I've probably said some stupid things. I've probably said some things people have disagreed with. Hell, I've had 2 different people in the last 24 hours tell me that I shouldn't make money off my videos because it's for the gaming industry and we need to save the gaming industry and it's not for making money. And then I had somebody else tell me that if you talk about politics as somebody who also is a gamer, then you're no better than SBI or whatever. It's like, people have some very, very extreme takes. So unfortunately, a lot of this shit gets really muddy and it just gets really gross, right? But I do hate the fact that so many times people feel pressured to go back and say, yeah, that thing that I said, that I full-throated said, that I 100% believe, I'm going to apologize for that because now I'm getting pushback, I hate that. I hate people taking the easy way out and just trying to apologize and, oh, I'll do better. It's like, why don't you just stand by what you said? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, why don't at the end of the day, what's it really going to hurt Asmongold to just say, yeah, you know, I probably sounded like a dick when I said it, but I meant what I said. I'd probably have more respect for him in that situation. It's one thing if you can acknowledge, I didn't say it the best way, maybe I was overgeneral, but I'm not going to apologize for the way I truly feel. If he doesn't truly feel that way, then why'd he say it? You know, I don't know. I just feel like there is so many times people feel pressured to like back down and apologize for things that they're not really sorry for, and it just seems disingenuous. That being said, let's finish off talking about, speaking of grifters and disingenuous people, I saw somebody posted a video. I don't know if you guys know. I don't know if any of you guys know. Alyssa Mercante over at Kotaku has decided that she's going to transition from former cam girl to Kotaku senior editor, to where she sees the writing on the wall, apparently, and she's trying to become a Twitch streamer now. So I have not bothered to go to her Twitch streams. I have not cared, but it's really funny. In a response to one of Smash JT's videos he did today, I guess yesterday, 16 hours ago, this person shared some of Alyssa Mercante's latest Twitch stream highlights, and I figured we could all enjoy them together, because this woman, we all know she's unhinged. We all know that she's got some issues. But this first one, is pretty good. Let me see if I can blow it up full screen. Oh my god, this thing is so small. Hang on. All right, I think the volume's up all the way.
For reasons, I can't speak to Smash GT. I can't speak about really him in any capacity.
Now, you guys can't see it because the video is so damn small, and I apologize for that. But she does this thing where she's got the little kitty cat headphones, which in theory I got no problem with. If like you're 18 years old and you're some Twitch ethot and you want to be like ooh and try to like get simps to follow you on Twitch, or that's fine. This woman is almost my age. I swear to God, she's got to be pushing 40. So it's just cringe in my opinion.
I can say that just, you know, look at the views on his videos from all time and look and see which ones perform the best. That'll give you an idea of what direction the channel has taken.
I do know people who work for a political issue.
Okay, hang on a second. You guys, I just realized something. I haven't been able to see any of your messages for the last like 20 minutes, so I do apologize. I have not been ignoring you guys. I just have had the multi-stream tab open, and it's not loading any of the chat. So I apologize. I was like, man, it got quiet in here all of a sudden. Does Savvy have those? I have no idea. But see, the thing is, Savvy is feminine and not disgusting. So if she did, it wouldn't look fake and gross on here. I'm going to try to catch up on some of the chat real quick, guys. I apologize. I was looking at it going, I don't know why it's not showing me the chat. Damn. That sucks. I'm sorry, guys. That is crazy. It's not loading anything. There's a lot of shit I missed. Too much. I'm sorry. I can't go back. There is so much I missed. All right. No, NS. It's legit that. Let me show you guys. You see this over here? You see this? There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's just terrible. The last thing I have on here, Richie said something about 30 stories, and that was probably like half an hour ago. But Savvy does uwu really well, like disturbingly well. You know what's even more disturbing? Somehow my kids learned about uwu, and I'm not kidding. Like I'm like, where did you hear that? And I think they were from like over at their best friend's house or something. Gotta pull up your own stream on your cell phone. Well, here's the thing. Because I multi-stream, because we got Rumble and Twitter going on right now, the only reason I have the multi-stream tab open is for Twitter chat, which occasionally comes through. But Desert, who's here, and Blu-ray, or I guess on here he's DB Wild, are like the only two guys who ever like chat on Twitter. And so I could have had the YouTube tab open the entire time and I would have seen all your guys' messages. But freaking dude, I swear to God, there are so many programs, so much software that exists in the world, like Streamlabs. Like I was using Kickstarter for a while, and that website, that friggin' app is a nightmare when you're actually paying for the subscription to use like the enhanced features. Canva is so much better than Kickstarter. Holy crap. But there are so many things you can pay for that just don't work properly. My wife does this for work. She has software that she uses. She doesn't pay for it, but we paid for the machines that she uses, and the software that comes with it is dog shit. They're always updating it. Nothing ever works. It's a nightmare. It's absolutely terrible. Alt F4 plus control clears your cache and speeds stuff up. Hell yeah! People have siblings, always filters down. That's true. That is true. Although these kids, they're private school. Their parents are not as strict as I am, but they pretend to be like strict. I don't know. But this second clip is even better, guys. Let me play this one.
Because it's just not good media. But wait, hold on. I was about.
So I think everyone should make sure they watch this. I dropped the link. I pinned it in chat. Thank you for that, Dave. I don't want to watch the whole thing, mostly because my Dayquil's officially worn off, and I'm gonna go have a coughing fit. But I think I gotta go outside. I'm fucking rotting in here.
Turn it off and on again. Hey, Smegs, how's it going, buddy? I could try that. The problem is if I turn it on and off again, I have to completely shut down my stream and restart. Dude, if Streamlabs would run like Discord in the background so that if you have to restart your computer, the stream still goes, that would be freaking amazing. You're out of the loop on any of this stuff? Woozy, it's really simple. Alyssa Mercante is the senior editor at Kotaku, and back in March, when people started catching on to the fact that there were companies that promote DEI messaging in video games and trying to race swap and gender swap and push LGBT messaging in games, people called out this one company's Sweet Baby Ink on it, and Alyssa Mercante at Kotaku and a few others jumped into the fray and attacked everybody and has been completely making everything about herself ever since. Now she is over here streaming on Twitch trying to make herself relevant because Kotaku is going to go under in the next year or two. So that's kind of like the long and the short of it. She makes you look like a live streaming deity. She's realizing Kotaku's sinking ship. That's what I'm telling you. She is doing the Twitch stream thing because she figures she can capitalize on it. Oh, the stuff that I mentioned about my kids. Yeah, that's, well, up until a few years ago, I wasn't aware of it either. The e-girl thing, saying like, ooh, woo. I can't even make the noise properly. It's just e-girl stuff for simps and all that. Some people do it very well. It's like this Japanese e-girl thing. I don't know. It's not appropriate for my kids to be saying, I can tell you that. I don't know why or how they learned it, but I'm like, holy shit. Like, okay, stop it. There's things like that they've done. And like I said, my kids are homeschooled. Their only exposure to other kids is when they're hanging out with their friends or like baseball and stuff, but whatever.
I think this is all just like, there's a lot of things that you can watch and read to understand the way that this movement has gained steam. Meme Wars is a great book. It explains kind of how Gamergate led directly to...
Does anybody know more about Meme Wars? I've heard references to the book before, but isn't that like... That's the book about, again, yeah, let me see. Meme Wars, that's a video game. Meme Wars book. The untold story of the online battles upending... I don't want to go to Amazon. I just want to read about it. Bloody hell. Oh, we can actually like preview this book, the first 46 pages. What? Online battles upending democracy in America. Holy shit. Oh man, she actually like believes this. Wow. Why don't I know the name Emily Dreyfus? Why does that sound familiar? The three writers were Joan Donovan, Emily Dreyfus, and Brian Friedberg. Interesting. She plans to capitalize on that and translate it to Twitch. Oh, there's no doubt about that. That's entirely her plan. Yeah, I guess this is a book that must have come out. When did this book come out? It came out 2022. It probably has to do with Gamergate. Memes have long been dismissed as inside jokes with no political importance. Nothing could be further from the truth. Memes are bedrock to the strategy of conspiracists such as Alex Jones, provocateurs like Milo Yiannopoulos, white nationalists like Nick Fuentes. Look, here's the thing. Here's the crazy thing. You know, a lot of people obsess about Milo and Nick, two people who I do not care for at all and don't even give a shit about. But most normal people don't know who Milo Yiannopoulos is. I'm not even kidding. Like, I swear to God, I would stake my life on this, that maybe 5% of voters even know the name Milo Yiannopoulos. So why do these people obsess over him? I'm constantly hearing people talk about Milo Yiannopoulos. I'm like, yeah, he's the guy who prayed away the gay. That's the only thing I know him for. Like, holy crap. No, Seinfeld actress is Julia Louis-Dreyfus. This is somebody named Emily Dreyfus. All the accusations of conspiracy theories? Yeah. Well, again, anytime somebody says conspiracy theorist, you know for a fact that they're just saying, you know, anything I don't like is a conspiracy theory, or anything that I don't want you to think is real is a conspiracy theory. That's all that means.
Do I need to be liked?
Oh my
Absolutely
God,
not.
dude. What are you
Do I
doing?
need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
Somebody's name is Phone.
Have to be liked.
No. Phone. That is a fantastic username. I have no idea why. NS with 5 more gifted memberships. Holy crap, dude. You're just trying to you're trying to beat Helldiver's super chats that he sent that one night. That guy's insane, but dude, you're not much better. You're just as crazy as he is. Thank you, dude. You're freaking awesome. Emily Dreyfus is a journalist who covers the impact of technology on society with a focus on social media and information systems. Oh boy. They're commie chicks trying to get attention somehow by overblowing shit. Maybe I screwed everything up in the chat with this little chat pin thing, but either way, the chat pin thing doesn't work, but whatever. Oh my God, NS, dude, thanks again. Yeah, I don't think most people know who they are, Woozy, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people know Nick Fuentes because the whole Groyper thing online, where he's like this trad Catholic red pill guy who thinks sex with women is gay, even though he's a virgin and he says he's not. I don't know. The guy is, Nick Fuentes is kind of a meme in himself. He's like 4 feet tall and insufferable, but some people like him. I don't get it. Let's finish this video because she says some insane shit here.
The Trump White House, and misinformation and disinformation becoming, you know, the new way to talk and spread stories. But I think it's not a coincidence that this is all happening during an election year and the fervor is as intense as it is.
So I said this on Twitter, but watching from Durban, South Africa. All right, Anton. Thank you. Appreciate it. So, this is the funniest part that she says right here. It's no coincidence that this is happening during an election year. Do you guys remember, most of you who are here probably do, that this entire thing started because an employee of Sweet Baby Inc. went after Cabrutus Rambo, the guy who started Sweet Baby Inc. Detected, the curator page on Steam. Their employee went after Cabrutus Rambo, tried to get his curator page taken down, tried to do all these things, went after Smash JT, tried to get him fired from his previous job. All this shit was started in an election year, as Alyssa Mercante put it, by an employee at the time of Sweet Baby Inc. But Alyssa Mercante, in her infinite wisdom here, is pointing out, well, it's no coincidence this is happening in an election year, and it's all about memes and this right-wing fervor. It's like, woman, listen to yourself. If anybody started this, anybody kicked up the fervor, it was the people at Sweet Baby Inc. Like Chris Kindred, that person, again, who apparently nobody at Sweet Baby Inc., according to Master of the TDS on Twitter, said nobody there wanted to work with this person because they were insane. That person started all this. So her trying to say that this is some sort of like right-wing conspiracy to drum up meme energy during an election year, like, give me a freaking break.
I think that the way that people speak about me and other women and queer folks and people of color in the space is very indicative of what's the real issue here. And the real issue is not DEI, it's not forced wokeism, it's people who have long been the dominant group in whatever industry, be it games, be it movies, be it elsewhere, feeling the effects of no longer just being number one for the sake of being number one because they're white and straight and male, and not liking the fact that they actually have to work to prove their worth.
Everything she just said was a complete bullshit. Let me see. Kindred started, now is fired. Kindred started the fire. Irony of life. I'm not kidding. Think about it, guys. There's the entire dialogue she had there about how it all started in election year and it's no coincidence. Woman, we didn't start it. So maybe she thinks it was started because the curator page existed. The curator page existing is simply saying, hey, if you don't like these games that have this kind of agenda in it, or if you don't like this product, let's just call it a product. If you don't like a product that has this ingredient in it, okay? So the game is the product, and the ingredient is Sweet Baby Inc. and DEI agenda pushing and all that. The woke activism, the localization, all this crap, where they kind of like sneak their own political ideology into it. If you don't want to buy products with these ingredients, here's a list that has the ingredients listed or the people who use these ingredients. Okay, there you go. It's that simple. Nobody was going out of their way. Look, I was talking about Sweet Baby Inc. in videos late last year, beginning of January, because I saw Yellow Flash talking about him, and then I looked into it. I'm like, oh, holy crap, this is interesting, weird. It wasn't as like the big deal that it became, but it was not it wasn't something that nobody knew about. It existed, and we were all just like, oh, this is why. We're starting to see signs of this is why we're seeing so much of this agenda being pushed in the narrative parts of the games. It made sense. So one of the 50,000 is here. Wasn't there leaked rumors that Fuentes was caught with Transcom open on his laptop? I think so. Fuentes is just, he's something else. Started in earnest in 2022. Yeah, Blu-ray. I kind of had a feeling you were being sarcastic. Let me see here. They're proud of their DEI games. It shouldn't bother them. Curators do all that all over Steam for years. No, it really is. That's the thing. It's like, honestly, I don't understand. Like, if we can just look at this objective, like my video I just released like an hour ago, I'm like, okay. The thing is, unfortunately, with DEI, we are seeing such a push both directions to where we are getting caught where there are certain things, certain games, certain movies, certain whatever, that don't necessarily have DEI put into them, but you might point to it and say, well, that looks like DEI, so I'm just going to assume it's DEI. The term does get overused from time to time. Just like woke, just like anything else. Just like saying everything's communist or Marxist. There are times where something isn't. Unfortunately, because we've realized how much there really is, we are hypersensitive to it. So again, quacks like a duck, walks like a duck, I'm going to assume it's a duck. 99% of the time, you're right, it's a duck, you know? So there are instances, not that I can think of off the top of my head, where once in a while there'll be something that might look like DEI that isn't, and you just have to go, okay, well, that situation's different. But in general, I just, yeah. Wait, you went from Atlanta, Georgia to where? Oh, no, you're not in South Africa. Okay. Greenland. Wait. So Woozy, are you the one in Greenland? Holy crap, that's quite a move. That is crazy. Still in the middle of nowhere. Other peninsula in my state has a population of Iceland. Yeah. In her article, she never even said anything about Kindred. Shows she has an agenda and is about lies. Well, dude, we've known this for a long time. Yeah, John, here's the thing. She can write a lot of big, pretty words. She's not a bad writer when it comes to if she can spend some time thinking ahead of what she wants to say. She'll look up on her thesaurus or dictionary a lot of like big words, pull some things out of her ass. That's a bad choice of words. And, you know, write a decent article and probably uses AI for the rest. But then it's like the way she speaks about things where you go, for example, when Thomas Mahler, there's a great topic. I should have brought that up. Let me before we're done, let's finish this video, and then I want to talk about Thomas Mahler's recent tweet. If you don't know who Thomas Mahler is, he's the guy behind the Ori games, Ori 1 and 2, No Rest for the Wicked. He had a fantastic tweet. After, again, his back and forth with Alyssa, he had a fantastic tweet from earlier today, or last night, I believe it was. You've been here for years now. Dude, in Greenland? don't think there's anything in Greenland worth like being there for.
And not enjoying the fact that other people are getting a seat at the table. And at the end of the day, I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's rooted in hate, it's rooted in sexism, it's rooted in racism, it's rooted in homophobia, misogyny, transphobia, all of those things. And you can tell by the way that they talk about people, and you can tell by the things that they highlight, and you can tell by the memes that they share. You can tell when they're sharing
Wow, there's too much to unpack there. But again, in about a 5-second span, she threw out every ism possible. Here's the funny thing. Do you guys realize something? People who use the term misogyny. This is something I didn't think about until Carl Benjamin was going over it. There are very few actual misogynists in the world. And do you know why? Because misogyny, as a rule, means a hatred of women. You can be sexist towards women, sure. You can be demeaning of a woman, absolutely. But genuine misogyny, like misogynists, are people who they have actual hatred towards women. That is not something that you see in anywhere in the US. Like, very few people are actually misogynists because they don't truly hate women. Yeah, you'll see some sexist jokes and remarks, whatever, fine, deal with it. That's when you say, hey, go back and make me a sandwich, you know? But the actual misogyny is something just like they say transphobia. I'm not afraid of transgender people. Not at all. These are people who are completely mentally ill. Do I pity them? Sure. Do I have an issue with a trans woman going in the bathroom with my wife or daughter? 100%. That's not a phobia. Let's see. Says someone who has a seat at the table. And that's another thing. The idea of representation. They're like, well, there's been all these underrepresented people. Go back to when? When were they underrepresented? In the 80s? In the 70s? There are plenty of movies and stories that you can drag up from the last 50 years that have black people, gay people, women, men, all sorts of people that existed. The idea that they're not represented is this complete fabrication. Again, representation means to put something on the forefront that wasn't previously there. They were always there. The representation existed. It was just proportionate representation because of the fact that they were a smaller part of society. Believe it or not, if you go back and look at these videos of high schools from like the 80s and 90s, they're like 90% white. Because that was the general population. Mass immigration as a whole had not gotten to the extent that it's at currently. So, see the clip with the cop and the individual in the bathrobe in the hotel hallway? Oh no. I don't think I want to see it. If it's one of those gore videos, I see way too many of those on Twitter as it is. They used to use the phrase male chauvinist pig for the longest time. Yeah, you can call somebody a chauvinist all you want. That's fine. I mean, we all have moments where we can be chauvinistic. But like actual hatred of... I believe, this is just my own personal belief, I believe, going on the actual definition being a hatred for the opposite gender, that there are more genuine misandrists than there are misogynists. I believe there are more women who legitimately hate men than there are men who legitimately hate women. I think there's a lot of men who are resentful towards women. I think there's a lot of men, especially in the younger generations, who feel like they don't have a chance with women. Could be because of economic factors, could be because of, again, societal factors, lack of human connection, lack of experience being, talking to the opposite sex. A lot of things that have contributed to the negative dating pool. Promiscuity has led to a lot of insecurity in who you're going to date and marry. There's a ton of things that, play into that. But I believe that there are probably more women who hate men as a whole, who would actually say the words, I hate men, and people are okay with that, than there are men who hate women. Personally, I think that's just, again, my take on it, but... Yeah, women are very open about their hatred for men. And then you see, okay, you want a prime example? Go to any of these people. Go to the Alyssa Mercantes of the world. Go to any of these leftoid, weirdo, wackos Twitter pages and make a comment about men's mental health. Make a comment about what about men's suicide rate or anything about men, You don't hate women, you're disappointed. Desert, I feel you there, buddy. Ghost was the only movie where you heard male chauvinist pig. I've heard men being called pigs all the time. That's movies I grew up on. Back, especially like old movies, they call men pigs all the time. But let me find Mr. Thomas Mahler, the based Chad that he is. Let me find his tweet. So this dude right here, Thomas Mahler. Again, creative director at Moon Game Studios, designer and director of Ori and the Blind Forest, which of these Ori games were great. I just never finished them. Again, story of my life, guys. We're going to finish some games one of these days. Okay. Misogyny is an Orwellian newspeak word. 1000% spot on. All right. So from October 13th, so just yesterday, he tweeted this out. And this is kind of long, so I'll take little pauses here and there. We'll probably end off with this because it's a good place to end. Let me see here. Close that out. Yeah, guys, I was going to try to do like a little giveaway or something, like a Steam card giveaway or whatever for the 10K stream. But to be honest, with as many fits as Streamlabs has given me today, I don't know that I would even be able to make it work. I was trying to get the chatbot to actually do the giveaway for me, but too bad no PlayStation version on Ori. I mean, give it time. Or, you know, I guess PC Master Race is a thing, but I don't shame people who don't have a PC. PCs are freaking expensive, I get it. Viral tweet calling for horrible things to happen to any given powerful group, and 90% of the time the poster is a girl from the Philippines or India. Oh, thanks, Meg. Appreciate it. Save it for a game day? We could do that. Hey, you guys want to test it out? So let's do this. I want to test out and see if this works. And if it does work, we will do it for maybe our Friday stream. I'll do a giveaway on Friday. We'll just kind of stream it along, you know, whatever. If you... Let me see if it'll work on YouTube. Let me try this. It's probably going to pop up over here. Yeah, it popped up over here. Here we go. I was going to talk about Captain America, but honestly, it's not worth talking about. Movie looks like dog shit. I don't know where my Thomas Mahler tweet... Here we go. All right. We're going to do some shopping. You guys are going to help me out with this because I have not done giveaway stuff since my Twitch days. And Chatbot, I think, worked a little bit better with Twitch than it does with YouTube, but we'll see. I'm going to type giveaway and see if it does anything. Nope, that's not it. That's a command. Don't bother clicking that. That's just a command for the instant gaming giveaway. Let me change it to something else. Hang on. Yes, we're going to reset that to, let's do 10K. Open giveaway. Oh, that worked. Hey, check that out. All right. I'm going to just do it myself and see if it works. I don't know if that did anything or not. It's because I'm the one doing the... So yeah, type that in, see if it tells you if you're entered or not. If it doesn't say anything, then it's not working properly. And again, this is not for an actual giveaway, guys. We're testing it out so we can actually make it work. All right, hang on. I see 2 people in... Oh, dude. I don't think there's anything sensitive that I can show you guys right here. So that worked. I see Wheezy Polar Bear and myself in the giveaway, so then I just would close it whenever. Anton, let me see. NS. Let me see if you guys pop up. Anton, I've got you. And NS. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to figure out... I'll do a poll on... I will do a poll maybe on YouTube and see how everyone wants to do it. But I do want to do a giveaway on either Wednesday or Friday stream. Probably Friday. Because Wednesdays are a little bit quieter stream. There's only like... Yeah, there's only like freaking 10 people that show up for those indie streams. No, you don't see anything on your end. But you see right here, I've got like 7 people in here so far. So, that'll work. Richie with thoughts and prayers, yeah. You would do exclamation point 10K. And that would put you in. No, you do not have to be a member. So, I've got the join permission set to everyone. Yeah, Desert, you're in here. It's got you in here. It just doesn't tell you that you're in it. And then Geekazu's in here also. I mean, the other thing, guys, if you just want to do it tonight because there's a decent amount of viewers here, like there's a few of you who are actually regular viewers here. If you guys just want to do a giveaway tonight, I was going to do it for like a $25 gift card of your choice. Oh, no worries, Richie. Just all you got to do is do exclamation 10K. Just put it in the chat and it'll put you in the giveaway. Rather than wait, we could just do it tonight, guys, now that I got it working. Anyways, you guys can keep doing that as I am reading. You only have to do it once. You can always do it again to double check, but it'll only put you in one time. You feeling lucky? All right, well, Hazu, after we get done, whenever I close it, what we can do is use it as advertising. You know, when I put it on YouTube earlier that I was going to possibly do a giveaway if I could figure it out. Got too much on your plate anyways. All right, well, if it picks you, I could always pick a different person. Yeah, dude, I don't have like other commands set up, I don't think, on here. I mean, I've got other commands. I don't know how many of them are working. Because I got CloudBot turned on. If you do... Oh, let's see, commands. Let me see if that actually does anything. That didn't do anything. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's the list of commands I've got. The G Fuel one is a joke. That one's not even worth doing. Yeah, I'm not doing like a $150 giveaway a PS5. If I had a PS5, I'd keep it myself. Always room for garlic bread. Hell yeah. Yeah, Blithian, it would have to be something that I hyped up for a long time. We could do something for like Christmas or whatever. We could do some sort of like big giveaway for like maybe Christmas or something. Avoid censor. I don't think that's one of my commands. Well, as minimal as possible. That's definitely the case. I mean, I've even got like a freaking Streamlabs shop that I set up before I did like logo change and a name of like I changed the YouTube name and shit. So like I don't know. All right, so guys, when I get done with the Twitter stream or the Twitter post here, we'll just go ahead and do the giveaway, and then I'll connect with whoever wins, and I'll get you that $25 gift card of your choice. We could even do like Nintendo if it's somebody who wants to use Nintendo, but like again, Geekazu, if you're only on PlayStation, we'll get you a PS5 card, not a PS5. I had a little burp there. Do a barrel roll. You do a barrel roll. All right, so Thomas Mahler, the absolute Chad that he is, tweeted this out yesterday, says, I'm still every now and then getting questions on whether we force DEI stuff into the games we're making, so let me make it clear once and for all. Absolutely not. I find that entire approach perverted. I'm an artist. I would rather quit than have someone else tell me how we should do our art. That would make a mockery out of everything I believe in, which I think is pretty freaking fantastic. Oh, I appreciate it, Woozy. Dude, yeah, honestly, I mean, I was commenting before that the algorithm giveth and then it taketh away, and the last couple of weeks I've had some videos that were real stinkers. So, I don't know, I feel like I'm on YouTube's naughty list for something I said or did, which is crazy because I hardly ever like say anything controversial. Well, that controversial. But you know, finding me from another channel, that's good to hear that I'm at least getting some views from like bigger channels like Smash. Smash is getting like 50 to 150,000 views easy on his videos. He's crushing it.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care.
Nobody wants to win the giveaway.
Like
look at this
tangible thing that you can point to and say, "Hey man, I love you. This many dollars worth."
You guys are too kind.
I was just helping test. Let someone else get the prize if it lands on me. And again, grats on 10K.
Fine. You don't have to win. It's okay. I just figured it was some way I could give back to you guys, you know? especially given the fact that 10K, it's not, like, to me, it's not a huge deal, but it's a big deal. Yeah, 20 years ago, Thomas Mahler just be a normal dude with common sense. Now he's a unicorn in the industry. Well, yeah, think about it. We'll go on. It says, I've been very much outspoken on how I feel about consulting, and I still very strongly feel that if people haven't lived the process and don't have to think about the issues at hand 24/7, they will always deliver worse work than those who do. When it comes to the stories we're telling, I always approach it from a human angle first and foremost and let the story tell me where it needs to go. If it tickles me to have a gay character in our story, I would never say that. I would never say if it tickles me to have a gay character, but it's all about phrasing, you know? Yeah, okay. And I feel that character would be fascinating, then I'll push for that. But I would never make a character gay simply because some outside party told me that it's hip to do so and that we might face backlash if we don't. And you know, I can think about that. There are characters in movies, in media, that it was part of their character, but it was for a specific reason. Either comedic value or it was like something that they were keeping hidden that they didn't want people to find out. So it made sense. It wasn't just, okay, everything needs to be like flamboyantly LGBT and over the top and in your face. Otherwise, you're just a bigot, you know? Art fundamentally doesn't work that way. Everyone has stories inside of them that are based on the experiences that they went through in their lives. And to me, what elevates art beyond just craft is when you reflect it enough to know who you are and then let those stories out, because those experiences that you lived through are most likely experiences that other people can relate to, that will speak to them in a profound manner because they're real. Ori and the Blind Forest in many ways was about me reflecting on what it was like to see my father dying of cancer when I was 10 and being grateful to my mom. Wisps, on the other hand, was written when we were all started to have kids in the studio and imagining what it would be like to have a kid with a disability. I wrote the first draft of No Rest for the Wicked quite some time ago, and that also came from a very specific place. I hope that clarifies it for everybody. I've had to learn the hard way what it means to be an artist, and I've never let anyone take that away from me. So again, dude is just like hardcore, doubled down, and he's like, no, I'm not going to ever have a consultation company tell me how I need to, you know, approach a character, how I'm going to, you know, need to have gay characters or this or that. If it fits the story, great. You know? Oh, Smegs, I appreciate it, dude. If Friends was made today, they would all be something checkboxy and one person would be normal with a small role or antagonist. Yeah, what is... Okay, so guys, prime example. Can you help me out here? Because we do have to get to the bottom of this. Because I do not believe ever that if you see a black character in a game or a movie or whatever, that you're a racist if you notice that there's like some sort of DEI agenda being pushed. Especially with games where you've heard that the character's race swapped, or it definitely has a narrative like Dustborn where you can tell it's hitting you over the head obnoxious. But how do we get back to a place where you see a person like Halle Berry or Denzel Washington or any of these famous black actors, or a game with a black character, or freaking Wesley Snipes' Blade and everybody loved him, right? How do we get back to where we can just see a good movie or a good story or a good game and not first see the skin color of the person? I don't mean like being colorblind. You cannot be colorblind. Nobody can. That's stupid to even try to say. I'm just saying, like, how do we get things back to being normal where you judge the movie or the video game or the story based on the quality of the story, and you don't realize within 5 seconds of seeing something, oh my God, this is going to be cringe, you know? Movie that flew under the radar called Nurse 3D. So potential victims was surprisingly decent, made sense to have. I mean, yeah, there's sometimes that it's going to make sense, you know? Some games the character fits the story and I don't notice. True. Consultations rancid, especially in storytelling. Maybe you hire them to help with stuff like understanding how legalese work if you're making a courtroom drama. Well, okay, prime example, like, John, I don't know if you ever watched, I don't know how old you are, like Boston Legal, which was a spin-off of a different show. The dude that made those shows he went through law school, he went through the bar. So he used his own personal life experience as a lawyer, or at least having gone through, you know, law school, to make those shows, and then he make them funny because, again, he liked humor and comedy of it. But again, it was from a person's perspective that had legal expertise, you know? Let's see, you never gave a crap about, let me see, races and movies and games still don't. It's the message that's attached to this problem. Right, but Smeg, here's the thing, that's my point, is you can see it from a mile away now, and then they'll point at you and say, well, you're just a racist, and you go, no, it's a story about some, you know, half-shaved head lesbian character who doesn't like men. You know, it's like, so Maybe it's because everything is so bad nowadays that they're just casting people that fit the role so well. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the dialogue for sure is what gives it away. Oblivion, I hope it drags itself back to center. I really do. You just meant to intentionally divide people and have them fight. Well, okay, Woozy, if you go to its natural conclusion, if you trace it back to the fact that, again, it comes from a lot of the ESG funding, which is heavily promoted by the CCP, which is ultimately trying to usher in the destruction of the Western society, then yes, 1000% it makes complete sense. Hey, Nervous Noodles, appreciate it. Ooh. Can I show this on stream? I can't. This is proof that I'm not some single guy in his basement that doesn't actually have a family. I don't, my handwriting's not that good. Oh my god, okay. I don't know if any of you guys are The Office fans, but my wife, she has one of these post-it notes like, what's her face? Jenna Fisher writes for Michael on one of the intros to The Office. I don't know if you can see that or if my camera's not focusing or not. It's the little hot dog. She writes "Hiya, buddy" on it when she's pretending to give him a note. I tend to only buy games that don't attack people based on identity politics. I need to have games vetted. But yeah, I appreciate it, Nervous. Just doing what I can. Yeah, Pam. Pam. Oh, women always have better handwriting, you know? Yeah, well, I always tell her, I'm like, let me know when you're ready to go to bed, and I'll wrap things up here so we can just go rest and watch, you know, whatever friggin' show we're watching. I don't know what I'm going to watch now. Shogun was freaking amazing. Like, holy crap, that show was good. And now I don't know what I'm going to watch. Oh, Zav's not here. I'm going to see if my wife wants to start watching Daredevil. He will crap and die, like, fall back in it if I tell Zav I've actually been watching freaking Daredevil. Hey, Nervous. If you want to enter, I'm going to end real quick here, and we're going to do a $25 gift card giveaway. So if you want to enter, just hit !10K and you'll get entered. Please take maximum effort for letting us borrow you. See, I didn't really watch the UK Office. I watched a few episodes. I didn't dig it. Flight to Iceland. Sounds fantastic. Well, Woozy, I'm going to end the giveaway in a minute. If you win... Oh, Nervous like this. Hang on. 1-0, okay. If you win, I'll make sure to get you whatever card you want. Easiest way to do it will probably be through... okay, Nervous, you're in the giveaway now. We'll probably just have you message me on Discord or whatever. Farscape on YouTube, that's not a bad idea. You can stick around. Okay, well, let's go ahead, and then I think if everybody else is good, I'm going to go ahead and close the giveaway. And there's a few of you who have opted out. I don't think I can physically opt you out. Let me see here. Smegs, I can't remove you. Cool, sounds good, Woozy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close the giveaway then. Let me see here. Pick winner. It's going to be somebody that... Woozy, would you look at that? Holy shit. All right. So if you want, easiest way would probably is if you just message me on, well, shit, I got Discord, I got Twitter. Geek, you were already in there, dude. You got so many Steam games you don't play, it's ridiculous at the moment. I'm sorry, Geek. We'll do another one pretty soon here, don't worry. Yeah, I know not everybody uses Discord. Ours is pretty chill. There's only like a dozen or so of us in there that actually do much talking. But you could also like hit me up on Twitter. Here, I'll put my Twitter. I think it's let me pull up what my actual username is. Min Effort Live is what my username is. Although I am private unless I follow you, so Put yours on here, and I will follow you, and then I will message you to get you your gift card. All right, Anton. Have a good night or morning, I guess. I appreciate it, Anton. It is not without its speed bumps. Definitely has been off and on kind of rocky, but I'm just trying to stick with it and stay consistent. Stay true to myself. Not ignore the haters, but try to like figure out if it's me or if they're just stupid, you know? Your only social media is YouTube chat. That is the most wholesome that you could possibly have. Honestly, Twitter is a cesspool. It really is. All right, cool. Let me look you up real quick then, and I will shoot you a message. And then we can get this all sorted out. All right. Let me see if I find you properly. All right, let's see. Oh, that's right. I never got my Discord link replaced, did I? Damn, I needed to change that. I don't think I did. All right, I'm guessing this is you, Woozy, seeing as it says you're in Greenland, so I will shoot you a message. Well, I'm following you, so you'll have to shoot me a message, but I just followed you, so message me on there, and I will get you your gift card. All right, guys, I need to hit the hay. It has been a lot of fun. Like, freaking awesome stream. I wasn't even prepared to really have much of a stream tonight. It's been a really crappy Monday. There's been a lot of stuff going on, my wife and I, with, you know, just random shit going on around here, but it turned out to be a good stream. I appreciate you guys for hanging. Even though we had technical difficulties and I didn't see the chat for like a freaking hour or some... It's just... I can't even believe it. You wear goulash has been wading through the cesspool of yeah. I'm up to like my waist in it most of the time, and it's a mess of my own making. So, all right, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. NS, thank you so much for the gifted memberships, dude. You have been fantastic as always. Smegs, of course, and McKinney Draws earlier for the super chats. You guys have been awesome. Everybody else who's just been hanging out, I appreciate all you guys. I feel like I don't say it enough, but really, I'm just some ordinary dude. So for me personally, this has been freaking awesome. So let's leave it right there, and I will catch you guys on Wednesday. We'll do the indie dev stream. I have not decided what game I'm playing yet. There's a few I have to choose from as far as like indie developers go, and then Friday I'll be back with probably, haven't decided yet. There's a couple of games I want to check out. So thank you, NS. It's always good when you guys show up. It's even better when I can actually read the chat, so that makes it a little bit better. Blu-ray, good to see you as always. Let's see here. Let's do roll call. Blu-ray, NS, Nervous Noodles, Smegs, Oblivion, Desert, Woozy, Richie, Geekhazu. Who else have I got? I said Smegs already. Anton already left, but thanks again, Anton. I think that's the majority. The silent majority, or the loud majority, I should say. All right, guys, I am out of here.
Don't support them.